Glad you're with us here on the Pirate Sports Network. This is Jeff Cunningham alongside head football coach Maynor as the Pirates get ready for their non-conference finale this weekend against William & Mary on Saturday up at Zabel Stadium. But before we get to that, Coach, big win this past weekend on the road, beat Morgan State 20-10 and avenged last year's homecoming loss in the process.
It was a big win for us to keep our MEAC race in hand. Last year was a 5-way tie, 6-2. If we can win out, we can get to 6-2. Also to keep our at-large playoff bid possibilities alive too, trying to win out and get to 8-3. So it was a huge win for us. Last year, Morgan State came in here on our homecoming and beat us, and this year was their homecoming, and we returned the favor, and it was a big win for the program. And the guys play hard. I'm just happy for the guys.
We've talked about what it's like when it's your homecoming, but now we're in a stretch where for 3 straight weeks we are other teams' homecoming opponents. What's the difference in being the road team for someone's homecoming?
Well, I think the road team has an advantage in all homecomings because homecomings just have so many distractions, and all the families coming in, uncles, aunts, boyfriends, girlfriends, ex-players, alumni. And it's just so many distractions. People calling, wanting tickets, wanting to see how you're doing and things of that nature. And so it's so hard, so easy to get distracted and lose focus on what's at hand, and that's the football game on Saturday. When the visiting team comes in, they're coming in together, they go in the hotel together, they're going to probably watch some film or look at their game plan and scouting reports, and they focus on the task at hand. They're not worried about all the other hoopla stuff that's going on. So I think that gives the visiting team a little bit of an edge. Not only in homecoming games, but all road games.
Non-conference game this weekend here in the middle of the stretch. How important is it, despite the fact that it's not a MEAC game this week?
Well, it's very important. We're on a little bit of a roll here with 2 MEAC wins in a row, and we need to keep the momentum going with this non-conference game and get another win to get it to 3. And then try to get the next MEAC win to make it 4. And if we can get them all, we'll be on a 6-game winning streak at the end of the season. So it's very important, not because it's not a MEAC game, it's our next game. And our next game is always the biggest game and the most important game. And, they're a playoff team. They rank number 17. And so in order for us to get some respect in FCS football, we need to start beating teams like this that's ranked and that's in the playoffs every year to show teams that we can play with teams in the playoffs, and then we'll be able to get at large bids more often than not.
Talk about William & Mary a little bit. This is the second opponent out of the Colonial Athletic Association we've faced this year. How do they compare to Richmond?
They're kind of similar. I think William & Mary's defense probably is a little bit better than Richmond's, and I think William & Mary's offense is probably a little bit better than Richmond. So, but they kind of the same, and they're well coached, they're disciplined, they don't make a lot of mistakes, they don't beat themselves. They both want to run the ball and then play good defense behind it. So they're kind of similar. And so we expect to be a tough game for 4 quarters. We know we can play with these guys, and we need to make more plays than they do in the 4th quarter.
You mentioned defense. That's been a bright spot for the Pirates in the last 3 games. Last 3 opponents all held under 300 yards of total offense. Last 2 games, just 1 touchdown given up on defense. What's been the key?
I think it's just the guys are getting more familiar with the defense. We got the whole defense in now. We're not going to do anything else new. You don't add anything else now that everybody knows, okay, that's it. That's what we do. Now they can start playing faster, and I think that's the key. Once you understand what you're trying to do, and now also they start to understand, formations and what other teams are trying to do to us, and they can just play faster. When you know what you're doing, you can play fast and you can secure tackles, which we didn't do very well early in the season. So now those guys are tackling better, and they know what they're doing, so they're flying around playing a lot faster.
Also, back-to-back games in which the Pirates' defense with a score, you had Oral Varshian against Delaware State with the big fumble return for the touchdown, and then Darius Banks this past weekend against Morgan State. How much easier does it make it on the team when the defense is creating points?
It's always easier. When that defense can get a scoop score, interception, take it to the house, it motivates those guys, get those guys fired up. It gets us fired up, and it just gives them more confidence that they can play play hard, play fast, play well. The only negative to it, if you can say it's a negative, is they got to go right back out on the field. But they have so much energy from the momentum, and those guys playing so good when they do that, they don't mind going back out. Normally they go right back out and have a 3 and out because they so jacked up. So it's really not a negative, but if you had to try to find a negative, it would be that they got to go right back out on the field.
If nothing else, football is a game of momentum. Last question for you, Coach. The Pirates will beat William & Mary on Saturday if blank.
The Pirates will beat William & Mary on Saturday if we continue to play the way we played on defense, dominating offensively. We can't turn the ball over, and we got to be opportunistic. So if we do those things and ensure up our special teams, because we gave a touchdown last week on special teams, and then we gave one to A&T. If we don't give up a touchdown on special teams and take care of the ball on offense, we'll have a chance to beat William & Mary.
It's head football coach Connell Maynor getting ready for the Pirates' non-conference finale this Saturday at William & Mary. Kickoff at Zabel Stadium will be at 3:30 p.m. This is the Pirate Sports Network. Welcome back to the Pirate Sports Network. Jeff Cunningham joined now by Pirates defensive coordinator Michael Ketchum as we get ready for the non-conference finale at William & Mary this coming Saturday. Coach, the defense has been playing very well the last 3 games. 3 straight opponents held under 300 yards, just 1 defensive touchdown given up in the last 2 games, and perhaps more importantly, your defense has created points in each of the last 2 contests.
Right. We try to stress turnovers. I mean, the game has become a game of possessions. If you can, steal one of theirs and give your offense an extra possession, that's really a plus to winning the game. And of course, if you score, that's a huge plus.
Has anything schematically changed in the last few weeks, or is this just a case of the players becoming more familiar with what you've laid out for them?
Well, it has changed, to be honest with you. We have simplified quite a lot. Early on, we tried to play, some 4-man front, some 5-man front, a little 3-man, a little tiny bit of 3-man. And really now we play 4, and we might get in 5-man front bare once or twice. But it's been we've simplified it, and they've really bought in, and they're really working hard.
The defensive line in particular has been a bright spot this year. You lead the conference in sacks. Miles Grooms is a beast getting into the backfield, and Darian Williams, the reigning MEAC Rookie of the Week, had a tremendous game against Morgan State. 5 tackles for loss in that contest. What's going on up front for the Pirates?
Again, we've simplified it. They're allowed to be aggressive and to get in the backfield. Let's get up the field. Let's see what we can make happen as a defensive line. Because honestly, that is the strength of the defense. That's where most of the seniority is and a lot of the talent. And of course, it really was nice to see Darian come on and have a good game. And Devin Johnson at linebackers played good. That's 2 freshmen that have really come along and helped us create some depth at positions we needed at defensive line and linebacker.
And let's not ignore some of the other positions, because you had Oro Varshian, who had the big fumble return against Delaware State. Darius Banks this past Saturday against Morgan State with a fumble return of his own. And you're getting some interceptions from that defensive backfield, too.
Yeah, the defensive backfield has really come along. Because if you're going to be good up front, you're going to make people throw. And then if you make them throw, you got to turn them over. You got to sack them and turn them over. And they've really done a good job. And, it was great. That play that Oral made against Delaware State, Delaware State had just got the ball on the 10-yard line, 8-yard line, or whatever. They put it on the ground, and he ran it back. That's a huge football play in that ball game.
What do you see when you look at William & Mary on film?
I see a really, really good football team. And like all good football teams, they're not really complicated. They are very, very sound, and they're very talented. And they are doing on offense pretty much what we've done on defense, and that is they do the same thing over and over and over again, and they're getting really good at it.
How do they compare to Richmond, another CAA school that we've played so far this year?
They're probably a little bigger up front. Their running backs are talented. They're about the same, to be honest. They're very talented. They will run the ball. They're going to start the ball game by running the football. Now, if they think that you're got too many in the box, they're going to go over top of you. They do a heck of a job of getting the balls down the field too.
So the blueprint for this weekend, more of the same, pressure the quarterback, try to create turnovers?
Stop the run, make them pass, create the turnovers, get to the quarterback.
All right, that's defensive coordinator Michael Ketchum in his first season after stints at Norfolk State and Delaware State. Pirates take on William & Mary at 3:30 p.m. at Zabel Stadium this coming Saturday. You're watching the Pirate Sports Network.